We're almost to number one.
Almost.
Do you have... I mean, I know you can see what number one is, but...
I'm not surprised. I feel like anybody that has been following you will not be surprised.
They will not be surprised, and they're probably already guessing
and it's
it.
very well deserved.
Yeah. Number two,
a great episode. One of my favorites.
This episode was just like lots of mind-blowing information.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like constantly just like, whoa, like that's crazy. And that was with number 49, Emily LaVoie. She was the second most listened to episode. And Emily LaVoie is a eating psychology coach, which means she helps you with your eating habits.
Yep.
Binge eating, stress eating.
Right. Understanding your hunger cues.
Yeah, understanding your hunger cues.
Understanding all food is good food.
Yes.
Yes.
And just really kind of taking the diet culture and just flipping it completely upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And Emily had so much mind-blowing information that she shared. And what was something that stuck with you? There were so many things.
I feel like I could talk about this episode forever.
I think you should be the one too.
Well, I feel like personally I connected to this episode a lot because this episode was released, I think, around the time I was ending the diet I was on. I was on a very strict diet for about a year. I did lose 100 pounds. It was not the best diet to be on. And I did struggle a lot with going from being on a really strict diet to then eating like a normal person. I was basically thrown to the wolves. Like, okay, now you reached your goal weight, but now what? And I knew what I needed to do. I knew I was supposed to eat more fruits and veggies, eat less carbs, et cetera, et cetera. But just knowing what to do doesn't always click in your brain. And I feel like Emily really helped me with that. Not that I'm trying to make this all about me, but I feel like there's so many people who can probably relate to that, to not knowing how to eat like a normal person. And yeah, she just had so many good things to say about kind of making you feel like you're not alone, you know, like it's okay that you want to eat ice cream for dinner because all food is good food, but like remember then like you should also then try to eat like healthier things to balance it out, and kind of like making sure you're aware, like, yes, you can eat quote unquote bad foods, and Emily will like that I'm not saying that because all foods are good foods, but you know what I'm saying, like, yes, you can eat ice cream, yes, you can eat popcorn, yes, you can eat cookies, but like you also need to learn to like understand what your body's craving, you know, like your body still needs nutrients and vitamins and minerals and all those good things. So yeah, I feel like it definitely was very, very helpful for many reasons, for understanding eating psychology, understanding why diet culture sets people up to fail, and then kind of like you said, this like mind-blowing, like, what? Like there's different types of hunger? Like I'm not just a ravenous monster all of the time?
One of my favorite eye-opening things was the psychology behind labeling food bad.
Yes.
The reason why she doesn't like to use terms like bad food is because what happens when you tell someone they see something shiny and they're like, ooh, I want to touch that. And they're like, no, don't touch it.
Yep.
Don't touch it. And you're just like, oh, I just want to touch it even more now.
Yeah.
So like when, you know, someone says, oh, that ice cream, it's horrible for you. That bread, that's so bad for you. It just kind of makes you want it more.
Yeah,
and that's what was mind-opening to me is when she said that. I'm like, my gosh, that makes so much sense.
It makes sense, yeah. And I remember her also saying to the same effect, that's why as parents you shouldn't use food as incentive or as punishment. And I grew up in a house like that. I'm
guilty of doing that with Owen.
Well, I grew up in a house like not really as an incentive. I feel like using it as punishment is worse personally. But I grew up in a house like that where if I misbehaved, I wouldn't get dessert.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I'm not blaming my parents. I understand why they would do that.
Well,
but it kind of...
times.
Right. But it kind of also then creates this sense that, okay, well then dessert is a treat And yes, in some sense it is, but you don't want to use food as a reward. You don't want to ingrain that in your children, because then it kind of sets up this notion that anytime they do something good, well, then I can go out and eat a bunch of junk food. And again, I'm not saying junk food is bad, because it's not, but it's something that should be eaten in moderation, not only as a treat, because then you're not really learning that it's something that you can have in moderation. And when you don't eat something in moderation, that's when it becomes a problem. Because then you eat it whenever you can, because you're worried that you'll never be able to get it again.
Yes.
And it's the same thing using food as a reward. If you're really good, which I literally did this yesterday, where Owen asked me in the morning, can we go to McDonald's for lunch? And he asked that because he watched a video where somebody was eating McDonald's. So I said, if you're a good boy today, when we go to the grocery store, because he's sometimes hard in the grocery store.
Yes.
Then I'll take you to So I'm guilty. I'm guilty of doing
I've done it with them too.
I'm sure everybody is. But
yeah.
She was saying how that's also something you don't always want to do, because you don't want to treat food as like a reward or as punishment.
Yeah, right.
But
there's like I said, there's so many things that were, and I think another thing that was really great from her episode was when she was talking about how not everybody is the same. We all have different bodies, and we should not all be expected to be the same weight.
Yes.
And be the because
same size.
Right, the same size. We all have different biology makeup,
Right.
So that's also something that she tapped into as well. So it's just, if you haven't listened to number 49 yet, it'll just change.
Right.
Change your life. Change mine. I literally think about something that she said in that episode every single day.